Welcome back to Vern's place, y'all. I'm talking about I'm back on life changing events part two. Um, a lot of people been asking me to elaborate more on when I was in prison when I first started when I first went in. Um, okay, let's see. Um, I s- they sentenced me to I'm gonna go back to that. They sentenced me to 295 months. Um, it was a long process. Um, let's see, I started I was in the county for about 3, 4 months fighting, fighting my case. Um, when I finally got sentenced, they gave the judge when she gave me my time, she had asked me, did I have anything to say? Did I have what can I say? You just gave me 295 months. And then I'll never forget my attorney was like, he looked at me and said, Laverne, I'm sorry. As bad as I wanted to headbutt him, um, I didn't. But I'll never forget that when they finally took me when the marshals took me back when they was going to take me back to my to the county jail that I was held in, they told me, Vern, man, that's messed up. They gave you that much time. They was like, man, you ain't gonna do that much time. So the whole time I always was left with hope of like that. What they know that I don't know, you know. But everything was just like so surreal for me, um, because it's like I just couldn't really believe it. And then when they had me held over in like Lyon, it was a county called Lyon County. The feds will put you in any county, wherever they can hold you at. At one point, I was in Fort Dodge and Iowa State Prison. They got a federal holding in Fort Dodge. And it's called Boom Unit. I was there, but when I finally got my time, they had me in Lyon County, and it was like one man cells. So when you get a lot of time, you go back. The guards are always checking on you. And they'd be on the PA, they always on the intercom. Vern, you okay? Or this person, you okay? You know, and I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. Then they'll make you come out the cell for about an hour just to make sure you ain't doing nothing to yourself or whatever the case may be. You ain't trying to hurt yourself or you ain't trying to break out. But anyway, I said, after I got my time, I sat in the county for another 2 weeks. And then they finally took me and boarded me on the plane. They drove me to South Dakota to the airport. And we wound up getting on the plane. And it was like crazy because I heard all the stories about the Fed's airplane. And I swear to God, everybody was like, man, it'd be duct tape on the wing. And I looked, it was duct tape literally around the whole wing of that plane. And I was like, man, this shit is crazy. It can't be real. It can't be real. And when they give you when they give you 20 years or more, or whatnot, they black box you. So they had a black box on me, and they had I had the chains on my feet that comes up to my wrist. And we get on the plane, I was like, they told me where to sit, and I ain't gonna lie, I was fucked up where I didn't really hear them when they said, "Hey, you need to keep going to the back." So I set my dumb ass down next to a female, and they thought I was trying to be funny, and they told me, "Man, get your motherfucking ass up." And everybody was laughing. I never forget that everybody was laughing because they thought I was just trying to be funny, and in reality, I wasn't trying to be funny. I just thought I could just sit down somewhere. I was just trying to sit down. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, once we made it, they sent you to Oklahoma Transfer Center. In Oklahoma Transfer Center, you find out where you heading to, what prison you going to. Um, you find out your fate there, what prison you going to. So they told me I was going to Leavenworth. So that was like, man, that's the unknown of not knowing what's ahead of you. Um, they take your street clothes. They tell you you can send them out or you can donate them. You know what I'm saying? I wind up donating my clothes. It don't really matter. I had enough time. Ain't nothing I can not gonna never wear that stuff again. And they put you up on the deck, and then I say like I sat in Oklahoma Transfer Center for about 2 weeks, and then they wound up putting me on a bus and they drove me to Leavenworth, Kansas. So when I made to Leavenworth, Kansas, they put you in this bullpen, you and a bunch of other people. Then they come and call your name one by one, and the counselors ask you, "Can you walk the compound, or have you told on anybody?" They know, they know if you told, they know if you can walk because they got your paperwork right in front of them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, I can walk, so I can come on the compound. So anyway, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. So after they do their interview, they ask you, your game affiliated, this, that, and the third, all this. They ask you a bunch of questions. And then they send you back to a different bullpen. So when I grade go on the compound, they said they put me in unit A3. So they was grade run child, which is dinner. And they was like, man, you can go to your unit now and then come to dinner with your unit, or you can just go in there now to the child hall. So I went on in the child hall because I was hungry. I'm like, man, I'm hungry. I've been on this bus for 4 hours, 5 hours. I'm hungry. So I go in the child hall. I'm just about done eating, and there was a dude come up to me, hey homie, where you from? I said, man, I'm from Chicago. He like, hey nigga, you can't sit right here. So I'm like, okay. I said, I'm damn near done eating. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go into the feds is so man. If you don't think racism exists, racism definitely exists in the feds. It's so segregated. You know what I'm saying, between white people, black people. If you hot, if you if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you game affiliated, it just all just segregated. But anyway, he was like, man, I'm like, man, what's the problem? Why I can't sit here? He like, man, you just can't sit here. Then he called for this dude named Roy. He called for one of the guys, Roy. He like, hey Roy, check it out. So I'm looking like, man, this nigga done called this big gorilla ass nigga. I said, I'm gonna have to bust off on this nigga first because I said, well, this gonna be my first fight in this motherfucker, you know. And then when Roy get over there, he like, man, this one of your homeboys, man. You need to tell this nigga that he can't sit right here and shit. And I'm sitting there like, man, I'm sitting right here. I mean, you could have just told me that. You know what I'm saying? So Roy was like, man, come on, man. So Roy was like, man, what you is? I said, I'm GD. He was like, oh, okay. Well, you one of the guys. He like, man, what unit you going on? I said, man, I'm going on A3. And he was like, well, it's such and such a unit coordinator up there. They gonna give you a care package, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, all right, cool. So when I make it up there to the unit, I wind up getting with one of the guys. They give me a care package, and then they gave me then they had to sit down with me. And care package would be shower shoes, soap, deodorant, toothpaste, that type of stuff. And he had to sit down with me. He was like, man, you got 30 days to get your paperwork. We got to make sure you ain't told and this, that, and the third. I said, all right, it's cool. So they gave me an envelope with a stamp on it. Then they gave me this little paper that acting for the docket sheet. You can't get the precinct, the PSI no more, the precinct investigation report no more. So they give you a docket sheet so you can get your docket sheet. So I'm like, okay. So I wound up sending off my docket sheet. And when the guy's like, man, you go to the store, you got to put the stuff back in the box, this, that, and the third. So I went to the store. I really didn't want to take the care packet. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, man, all right. I ain't know what I was getting myself into. But I wound up putting the stuff back into the box, Then my paperwork came, I'll say, it's been about 2, 3 weeks later, my paperwork wound up coming because I wound up sending off for it immediately, because I was like, man. Then they put me in a cell with this Texas dude, and it was just crazy. And then when the guy's like, man, we gonna have to get you up out that cell. You know what I'm saying? Dude, the creep. So I ain't, I like, man, I'm didn't know what the hell was going on. Then he was like, man, the Texas dude, he was straight creep. He was like, man, I'm about to hit this bitch. And I'm like, okay, shit. Man, this nigga gonna get some pussy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, I'm gonna get out the cell then, just, let you do your thing. And then the whole time he was he wasn't hitting no motherfucker. It was a lady guard standing up there at the goddamn at the desk. You know what I'm saying? He in the fucking room jagging off on her and shit. So I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, this nigga is a creep. You know what I'm saying? But I wound up getting out that cell. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward, let's see, a year would go back. I was in 11 work, 4 years, something like that. Almost 4 years. It'd go by. I wind up becoming chief security for the GD, and that slot was like kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's basically a send off slot. You know what I'm saying? It's some of the guys that were good guys, and then you have to do some. You have to go by the laws and policies. What you got to do. You took I took that oath, took that slot. And what happens happens. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it was just a lot of politicking when I was there, man. The blacks, the white boys come play with the blacks, come play basketball with the blacks, or be on the team with them. You know what I'm saying? They had to put their own team together. Um, you had a couple of guys that was white, and then none of the white boys fuck with them because they was fucking with us. It was just that whole situation was just kind of crazy. Then you had the movie theater where, what I'm saying, everybody had their own sections where they sit at. You know what I'm saying? If you was a Christian, man, it was kind of hard for you in there. You know what I'm saying? If you just on straight Christian time, it's kind of hard for you, you know, because half the time they figure if you Christian, that means you probably hide or this, that, and the third. But a lot of guys running become Sunni Muslim. You know what I'm saying? When they become Sunni, um, a lot of them become Sunni for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say all the Sunni guys is bad, but a lot of them good dudes. You know what I'm saying? There's some that become Sunni Muslim for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? They look for protection. Um, you know, because the Sunnis is like the biggest mob that's in the federal prison. But anyway, it was let's see, uh, so I wind up after years went by, I started realizing how everything working and how we networking there. Um, let's see what else. What else? Man, it was so much things. There's so many things that corresponded that happened when I was in there. It was just crazy. You had one that you had you had dude I used to know named Pimpin' Rob. You know what I'm saying? He was from Iowa. He called his case up there in Sioux City, Iowa, where I was at, and it's true story. Um, so I had a little store. So he asked me for we used to work out together. So the guy was like, man, fam, why you be fucking with dude? Dude gay. And I'm like, man, Rob ain't gay. You know what I'm saying? They like, man, that nigga gay because Rob stayed on A1. I stayed upstairs on A3. And they say, yeah, he moved a motherfucking fag in the room with him. So I'm like, straight up. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna holler at him about that shit. So he asked me for a turkey log and a bag of rice. So I was like, man, you gotta come upstairs and meet me halfway. So as we on our way upstairs, the big old fag that they say he moved in the room, he coming downstairs. So Rob got them and stopped him like, man, bitch, where you just coming from? And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. No, this nigga ain't talking to this fag. And I'm like, okay. I ain't thinking. And the fag was like, man, you don't tell me where to go. This, that, and the third. And Rob hauled off and slapped that man. When he slapped that man, that man went to chopping wood on Rob, went to whooping his ass and shit. He turned to a straight man then. You know what I'm saying? He whooped his ass in the hallway. And I wanted then Rob in the fetal position, dude started kicking. So I'm like, all right, man, that's enough. I ain't supposed to get into that, get to that point. You know what I'm saying? What I ain't supposed to be involved with this shit. I'm like, man, all right, that's enough. And Rob get up off the floor. He like, man, yeah, I'm gonna kill you, bitch. This, that, and the third and shit. So I'm telling Rob, man, just calm down, just chill, man, just chill. So Rob, he didn't show up to work out the next day. Cause I'm about to check his ass on this shit. I'm probably about to start fucking with him. So the whole weekend went by. So I'm like, man, so I catch him in the center hall. I'm like, man, what's up? You start working out? He like, man, I'm mad at you. The fuck you mad at me for? He like, man, I feel like you should have helped me. Help you do what, bro? He like, man, we could have jumped, dude. I said, hold on, man. I said, I don't get in no fag shit, man. I said, I don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I'm not great doing shit. I'm not great getting into that shit. And he was like, man, so after that whole little situation, when he somehow he feel like I should have helped him, I actually stopped talking to Rob then. You know what I'm saying? We didn't talk for a whole what year, 2 years I was still there. I mean before I transferred, you know what I'm saying, I had stopped talking to Rob. Like, man, you want me to get into some fag shit where you goddamn it, you want me to jump on the fag with you, man? I don't do that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I did enough by helping you. Got to help the dude get up off you and shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it just so much stuff that had happened when I was in there. I can remember, you know, you had yeah, one of the guys, I loaned him some shoes to wear, some Air Force Ones to wear, to take pictures in. This nigga go check in and shit, went to the hole and shit, took my shoes. He ready to go home. Nigga, I got 20 years to do. He went home with my shoes. You know what I'm saying? I like that shit, that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I never understood that. You know, you had crap ball ass niggas and shit. And showed his true colors. Um, yeah, it was just like I'm just sitting here just thinking of all kind of crazy stuff that happened when I was in there. Um, There's a lot of man. I'm telling you, there's a lot of good dudes in there too, man. There's a lot of good dudes I ran into when I was in there, and to be honest with you, for like the ones that's like, man, you that's doing the most. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying the most far as throwing bricks at the penitentiary, man. That ain't nowhere where you want to go. A lot of guys that leave and come back, we always be like, man, they must miss their friends. They must ain't got no friends out there. You know what I'm saying? For them to come right back. And there's ones in there with life sentence and 60 some years and this, that, and that. Dudes had a lot of time, 30 years, and we just hoping to go home in 3, 4 years, you know what I'm saying? And you got dudes that go home, come back, catch a whole nother charge, and then still go home again, get sentenced, go home again, and still beat us out. You know, it just didn't make no sense. But anyway, when I had got out the cell with the Texas dude, they put me in the cell with it was an older dude I was in the cell with, and then he was like, man, he was real edited on paperwork, and it was really cool. You know what I'm saying? I go to trial, come back, and he got his paperwork laying on my bunk. So I'm like, man, what the fuck? What's this all about? So I look at it and shit. His shit say, back in the day when you first get sent, like I don't think the Fed do it no more. When you first back a while back when you got sentenced to life, they used to put deceased on your paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Your paperwork ain't say life. It just said deceased, you know. And that was like, wow. How you gonna every time you pull this paperwork out, you look at this first thing you see on this motherfucker, it say deceased. You know what I'm saying? You got to be like you going there, you got to be mentally strong, man. I seen a lot of guys that played crazy and shit, and they made sure their ass was crazy when they got them and came out there giving them the Thorazine and shit. They getting hooked to that shit, hooked on Thorazine, and that shit was fucking them up. You know what I'm saying? Then they can't goddamn it do shit. They can't do 2 or 3 days without having that shit. You know. So I just imagine how motherfuckers is when they came home, shit, not being able to have that shit. But them the ones that was playing crazy. I mean, white boy tried to jump off the top tier and kill itself. You know what I'm saying? Tied the damn sheet around his neck, tried to kill itself, and the damn sheet came loose and shit. They took his dumb ass to the hole. You know what I'm saying? We ain't see his dumb ass no more. You know, I don't think. I mean, for some people ain't strong enough to do time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you ain't strong enough to do time, don't do the crime. They're just like when people do the tell, the snitch. You know what I'm saying? You know what the game is. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I ain't ready to take nobody off the street because I got myself in the situation. I ain't gonna take you away from your family because I got myself in the situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna do my time. You know, shit. At the end of the day, shit, I'm hoping shit, if you one of my guys, shit, send me some bread in that motherfucker. Send me some money. You know what I'm saying? Shit, look out for my family and shit. You know. But got a lot of weak minded dudes. And I remember his one of the vice lords, he had went home and he was cool, man. He used to play ball and everything. He came back, from on a violation. And when he came back on the violation, man, dude was fucked up. Like somebody gave him slip something in his drink or something. You know what I'm saying? He sit there and I mean be talking to himself, walking around with a skull cap over his head, over his eyes, and sit by the phone, talking about he waiting for his son to call. You know what I'm saying? To call him, and we in prison. Ain't nobody. You can get no goddamn calls in prison. Um, he was in the cell with one of the guys, Gino. Him and Gino wound up getting to a fight, and the lawyers was like, he only had like a few months to do or whatever the case may be. When the vice lord that came back on violation, I forgot, man, I forgot his name. But anyway, they wound up taking him to the hole because everybody, the guards, everybody know he was like kind of throwed off now when he came back on violation. And when they took him to the hole, um, went to the vice lords, asked him, "Hey man, do y'all want him to come back out? This, that, and the third?" And they was like, "Nah, man, just keep him back there because he's starting a bunch of chaos. You know, he only got a few months to go." That man hung himself in the hole. You know what I'm saying? Never made it back out. Never made it back out to see his son. That's all he talked about with his son. He never made it back out. He hung himself in the hole. That was crazy. That was crazy how that went. Man, there's just so many episodes that it happened. It was guys that had few months. It was the old guy that had a few months to go. He wanted to start working out. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to start go. He started going hard, working out, and he had a massive heart attack, going around the track. And a lot of people thought he was just laying in the grass trying to get a tan. Shit, he was dead. You know, it just so many. Man, I just count my blessings. You know what I'm saying? I count my blessings on just making it back out of there. You know what I'm saying? Being able to still have my mental, and being in the right mental, to make things happen for myself. Not even myself, my family. You know what I'm saying? My kids. You know, and it's a lot of guys that came back out of there in the right state too. And did something with themselves. Um, and it was so many episodes, man. It's like just so much stuff just pondering in my head. Like I say, I freestyle this. It ain't nothing wrote down. I'm freestyling. I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking out loud. I'm thinking about all the stuff and corresponded that had happened. Man, yeah, Don Smokey down there with us. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I couldn't wait until Smoke transferred. You know what I'm saying? They came and asked us all they came and asked me my case man, they trying to do like a care level swap out. This before I went to the hole. The care level swap out for to go to prison in I think it's a prison in Minnesota, Wisconsin, on the prison. And then I was like, man, let me get back with you because I heard Smokey and I heard Don Smokey, I heard Roy, I heard all them talking about like, man, I'm about to transfer. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, you know what? I don't want to go down there with them. I'm trying to get the hell away from them and shit. And when I found out they was going, I was like, man, nah, I ain't going. I'm cool. But anyway, um, when Don Smoker was down there, it was like, when you have a board member on the compound, it'd be kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Just everybody want to be on point. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta protect him all the time. You know what I'm saying? I remember when the guys came to me was like, man, did I'm just get my guys coming, man, Smoke moving the motherfucking fag in the room, this, that, and the third. I said, man, gee, ain't nothing we can do about this shit. What we gonna whoop him? You know what I'm saying? No, we can't whoop the man. You know what I'm saying? He won the Batman. We can't whoop him. You know what I'm saying? I like, man, that's just what Smoke do. Smoke on that Stateville shit. So that's what he do. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you Smoke, that's what Smoke do. But it's just a lot of situations that, when when we used to have our little meetings, our little gatherings, Smoke used to do all that damn yelling and shit. All that damn yelling wasn't even necessary. He'd do all that yelling and shit and be intimidating a lot of the guys that went from from Chicago or just on that intimidation shit. You know what I'm saying? I used to be tripping on like, man, this dude here tripping. You know what I'm saying? And doing all this damn yelling for nothing. You know, Smoke was a good guy too, man. He had good intentions. You know what I'm saying? You catch him by himself, man. You can get anything from you. I mean, well, I ain't gonna say about it. You just catch him one on one, just talk to him. You know what I'm saying? He'll give you a lot of knowledge. You gain a lot of knowledge from him too. You know what I'm saying? And he'll give you anything you want. If he got it. And when Smoke went home, I don't even know what the hell he's doing over east, but um, I heard he got shot in his head twice over east. You know what I'm saying? On the east side of Chicago when he went home. You know, but you never know what that was from. It happened. Then you had Mike G. Mike G was from the hundreds. You know what I'm saying? Mike G was he another older brother that had a lot of chaos going too. You know what I'm saying? He called it, said he wanna extort chomos, child molesters and shit. You know what I'm saying? Each his own. He did what he did, whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't my thing, but he's another one of the guys. He was a good dude. He another old head that got killed when he got home. You know what I'm saying? I look at all that like, man, what the hell, man? And I count my blessings like, man, I'm glad that. And everybody always be like, man, why you don't be in the city all the time? Why you don't hang out in this? And I be like, man, the reason I don't be in the city like that is because I'm on something totally different now. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that me being in the city is gonna, is something bad or I'm just not with the things that a lot of the guys that from the old neighborhood where I used to be in on Wabash. I'm not with that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Everybody moved different. I move differently now. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not shit. I did too much time to come home to catch a stray bullet from some shit that I ain't got nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. You know, now if we want to go to a gathering where it's not in in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Let's do something positive. Let's put our heads together and try to do something positive. You know what I'm saying? It's something totally different. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing that. But if I was just hanging in the hood, I ain't doing that no more. Um, I done been up to Iowa a couple of times, and everybody, man, we ain't moved back up there. Up there, I was like, man, shit, they gave me a lot of time up there. Iowa actually scares the hell out of me now. You know what I'm saying? Because the game ain't anywhere. The game ain't the same no more. You know what I'm saying? You got the thorough niggas that think they say they thorough, but shit, when they get that pressure on them, man, when the feds come knocking and they start throwing them football numbers and shit, and they scare the hell out of people with them football numbers. You know what I'm saying? They ain't talking about uh, um, no probation shit. You know what I'm saying? They talking about 20 years and shit. And then it's like a lot of guys that caught their case in, like we was already on that. Like a lot of guys that caught their case in Iowa. You know what I'm saying? I was down there in Iowa. Now if you ain't get 10 years or more and you selling dope and you got a dope case and you get something like 5 years, 2 years, 100, and like, man, come on, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers telling. You know? But like I say, like with that shit is like each his own. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna, I'm not gonna tell on no motherfucking body. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take that shit to the grave. You know, like I say, because you in your situation, or because I didn't got put myself in the situation, I ain't gonna put you in my situation. You know what I'm saying? And then what's crazy about that part is a lot of guys don't know when you tell, you make things worse than it actually is. You know what I'm saying? Half time, for number one, you doing the DEA job. You doing the prosecutor attorney job. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers ain't got to work no more. All they gotta do is say, "Hey, I'm gonna go grab my snitch, and we're gonna see what kind of information he got." You know what I'm saying? You got what's his name? Dude in Iowa, Hollywood, James King. This nigga, he on so many motherfuckers cases, it don't make no sense and shit. And they was paying this motherfucker $120. I think I read that shit. They paying this motherfucker $150 a week just to tell on some motherfuckers. Man, you fucking motherfuckers lives up for $150 a week. You know what I'm saying? You ain't know what the fuck. You ain't, man. This shit just crazy and shit. You know, and it's that type of shit that really like irks me. I do say each his own, but that type of shit right there just really irks me and shit. Like, man, dude, you fucking nigga whole life up for $150 a week. You know what I'm saying? But you got motherfuckers still doing that shit right now and shit. Right now as I speak. You know what I'm saying? They're like when they had me in Fort Dodge in Boom Unit, you had like one side come out for an hour, then we had to be locked down, and then the other side would come out, and then it was like what was it, a yellow line, red line you couldn't cross. You know what I'm saying? Then you had dudes that'd be on my side of the building. When they go to court, now they on that side because they done testify on some motherfuckers that's on the side that we all was on, or a motherfucker that was they selling. You know what I'm saying? Because they settled in there talking and shit, you know. Then they're having talks and shit. That's just like when I first made the Boom Unit. You had Pat Rat and um what was his name? You had Pat Rat and you had what's his name? We one of the guys too. Um I forgot his name. You had Julius, you know what I'm saying? You know who I'm talking about. J Rock. You know what I'm saying? He from the city and shit. It's Pat Rat and J Rock in the cell together. And when you go in Boom Unit, you gotta take TB shots, so you gotta wait 2-3 days before they send you downstairs. So when I first come downstairs, I'm on the side with J Rock and Pat Rat. So first thing J Rock tell me, man, what you do with all them cars and shit you had? And I was like, man, bro, I don't even want to talk about that. No. Then he was like, man, I still got you and shit. Bro, I don't even, that's you. I don't even want to talk about that. Whatever you owe me, nigga, that's you now. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing. Because there was too many people jumping on case. And I ain't saying that he jumping on a motherfucking case, but it was just too much of that shit going on. And I didn't want no parts of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, he's not the dude. He good dude. You know what I'm saying? He just he's a good dude. He just let niggas in Sioux City, goddamn it, you know, run him the way he want to run. Instead of him being a leader, he used to always just be a follower and shit. You know what I'm saying? On a lot of little stuff, but he's still a good dude. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good dudes that I ran into. Um, my man G, um, he's another good dude. I mean, when they got me, they they showed me my man G picture and his girl picture next to each other. And I'm like, man, they steady trying to tie everybody in together. I'm like, man, I don't know them. I don't know them. And I was like, man, I appreciate y'all. And I don't no bullshit. I ain't lying and none of this shit. I told them motherfuckers, man, I appreciate y'all taking me out that goddamn holding cell, man, because I shows God, I just need this little time and shit. You know what I'm saying? They showing me pictures and shit, and then I'm like, man, I don't even know them. They're like, well, he from Chicago. I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? They got G and his girl picture. Well, they from Kansas City. I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I appreciate y'all taking the time out, taking me out their cell and shit. Cause I needed some air. You know what I'm saying? But um, I don't know nobody. I don't know what they doing. Y'all can take me back to my cell now. You know? And they looking at me like this motherfucker. You know? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Then shit. When I went down to Three Rivers, Texas, a lot of good dudes down there. I mean, it wasn't enough guys down there, so we're trying to do a Midwest coalition. You know what I'm saying? And it started off with maybe about 15, 20 of us from the Midwest. So we like, man, then it was some of the guys that had a lot of time. They like, man, I don't want to do this Midwest coalition shit unless everybody bring their paperwork out. So I'm like, shit, cool with me. You know what I'm saying? So everybody like supposed to been meeting up after child, bringing their paperwork out. Man, it started off with 20 of us, and then when motherfuckers started talking about that paperwork shit, it was like I think it was like 7 of us out there, 8 of us out there. So we like, man, this the Midwest Coalition right here. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else was like, man, I'm on Christian time, I'm Muslim, I'm more science now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just switched it up, you know. And then it was crazy, like a lot of guys, and then I had some guys that say, man, I became Muslim, or they say, one dude say, man, I became Muslim, man. And motherfuckers know he told, like, man, I became Muslim. Allah don't care about, and this guy like, man, Allah don't care about if you told or not, this, that, and the third. My whole thing is like, man, whatever you is, you know what I'm saying? And if you was doing what you was doing in the street, you know what I'm saying? If you was a good dude or you was a loyal dude, a stand-up dude, you know what I'm saying? And whatever religions you strongly um, want to believe in and want to be, I'm just saying like, man, where's the motherfucking morals at, man? You know what I'm saying? Because I can't do it, man. I can't. If I know you told it, man, motherfuckers know me. You know what I'm saying? Even in the joint, like, man, I had a celly that when I made it down to Sandstone, and it was before then, but I had a celly and I stood on that shit. I'm sitting at the table and motherfucker like, man, that nigga Jay, he ain't bring his paperwork and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so I'm like, man, I ain't saying nothing. I'm sitting at the child table. I'm just listening to him. So I go back to this. I go back to the unit like, hey man, I take my paperwork out. I put my paperwork, even though we're in the low. I just wanted to see something. You know what I'm saying? I took my paperwork out and I put it on his bunk. And then he was like, man, you left this on my bunk. I said, yeah, I wanted you to read that. And I said, man, shit, you ain't got your paperwork? You know what I'm saying? I just want to know who I'm around, who I'm in this cube with. And he's like, oh man, I don't need to have no paperwork and this, that, and the third, blah, this. I said, man, you told on some motherfuckers because it was motherfuckers saying that you had told your homeboys said you had told. You know what I'm saying? And even though he was from Carolina. You know what I'm saying? You know that's their thing. They were just talking about him and shit. And he was like, man, I don't care what motherfuckers say, man. Shit, I'm just trying to get back out here with my kids. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's all you tell me right there and shit. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, I moved out the room with him. I moved out the room with him, and I moved him in the room. I just moved out. You know what I'm saying? I moved out the room with him. Um, I stopped talking to him. I stopped talking to him that same day. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't talk for a whole 2 weeks until I moved out, and then I moved out the room with him, and I ain't say nothing else to him. Long as I was on their compound. It just my morals is totally different from a lot of other guys, and I believe a lot of guys that had the same thought process or morals like me. Like, man, if you did what you did, you know what I'm saying. When you get in the dope game, man, you know what the consequences is. You know what I'm saying. You know what the consequences is. You know, you can't say oh well, man, y'all, if y'all had the time that I was gonna get or the time I had, you know what I'm saying? You never know what you'd have did. You know, I was facing life. Okay, shit. Um, I look at it like, well, shit, you got other dudes never 30 years, 60 years, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? 224 years for me was life, and I ain't never been to the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? That was my first time going to the penitentiary. You know, but it's just so much, man, that motherfucker went through. You had little dude from Florida. You know what I'm saying? The dudes in the Florida car stopped fucking with him. So all of a sudden he decided he want to say he GD now. You know what I'm saying? To try to get on count with us and well that's when we had made another count, but now all of a sudden he's saying he want to be on GD time and shit. This when I was in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the guys started coming down there and then we wind up getting a count. You know, it was just a steering committee. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no IC, it wasn't none of that shit. It was just a steering committee. So he give me his paperwork. So I had his paperwork overnight. So I'm reading his paperwork and I'm like, hold on, what the fuck? This nigga said that they gave him he took 30 years. They gave him 30 years and they told him that if he don't testify on this one dude when they catch him, you know what I'm saying? All this shit in his paperwork. And if he don't testify on this dude when they catch him, they gonna take this 30 years back and give him what they say, give him life or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And then he like, man, I need you to clear me. I can't clear you with no shit like this. I can't tell a guy that you good. Not read no shit like this. Then the whole time, I'm trying to tell him like, man, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I give him his paperwork back and then I ain't take it to the guys. Then he go to the guys and like, man, Big G wouldn't even clear me. So they come holler at me, man, G, why you ain't clear this? Why you ain't clear Black? And I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna show y'all something. I go back to the unit and I was like, hey, Black, let me see that paperwork. This dumb motherfucker give me the paperwork all right back. I'm like, okay, I go out there and show the guys. And then they like, what's wrong with this nigga? I'm like, same shit I was saying. Like, man, this nigga, is he crazy? Like, yeah, totally. You know, totally. So, whole time he was gritting on me. You know what I'm saying? Like he wanted to whoop me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, then you had one of the I had moved one of the moles in the cell with me, twin, big twin. Twin was cool at first, At first he was cool, and then after I had Black paperwork, I'm telling him like, man, this nigga is crazy. So Twin and Black was in the GED class together. So this nigga Twin goes back and tell Black, a nigga that ain't from Chicago, nigga that's and then you supposed to be one of you supposed to be my guy. You know what I'm saying? You go back and tell Black, man, that nigga Big G showed me your paper said that, man, you fucked up this, that, and the third. So the whole time, this nigga gritting on me and shit because of some shit the twin had told him and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I found the shit out. I holler at Black like, man, what's up, man? You trying to get the shit off your chest? You want to fight? What you trying to do? He like, no, Twin told me that you was talking shit. This, that. I'm like, Twin, my bunkie? So I went straight in there, hollered at Twin, and Twin gonna tell me some shit about, oh, I feel like, man, he said, man, I feel like the man should be able to face the accuser. I said, nigga, what the fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? He like, man, I just feel like the man should be able to face his accuser. Who accusing the motherfucker? I slapped the shit out of Twin. Slapped the shit out of him. I moved that nigga in the cell. That nigga moved. That nigga had to go that night. Like, after I slapped the shit out of him, he had to go. You know what I'm saying? So he wound up moving downstairs. I moved Breed upstairs with me and shit. You know what I'm saying? It just certain shit, man. Some motherfucking morals just fucked up and shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm all over the place with this shit. uh, it's just a lot of like I'm just elaborating on things that a lot of people wanted me to talk about some more about the, what I went through when I was in there. You know what I'm saying? I call it. I always tell people, man, when I was on the other side of the world, that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? When I was on the other side of the world, I'm just elaborating on the things I went through, and there's so many other things I done went through. You know what I'm saying? That shit. Um, I'm right now. I'm like I said, I freestyle this shit, and I be forgetting stuff. As stuff pop up in my head, I'm going from there and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make another podcast, and I probably have some people on there with me. You know, we just gonna talk about a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? Life, money, um, relationships. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm just going off of this my life changing events part two. Um, I'll hit y'all back. I'll make another one tomorrow. I'll just try to stay on top of it. I just be so busy at times. You know, my life is like, man, I'm all over the place with it. I'm buying and selling cars. I'm all over the place with it. You know what I'm saying? But I'll make another one. The ones that listen to me, the ones that like listening to me, you know what I'm saying? I'll have some good things, good stuff for y'all. And, you know, I'll tell y'all my life, and I'm going to put other people on here and they tell y'all they life. You know what I'm saying? It's mainly for like the ones like a lot of youngsters to listen to this. Even if you got a lot of older cats that ain't been through what a lot of us been through. You know what I'm saying? I think they should listen to this too. You know, because man, it's fucking with the feds, man. That shit easy to get into and hell to get out of. You know what I'm saying? And then when they give you them football numbers, man, and they want 85% of their time. They don't want no um 2 days for 1 day. You ain't doing none of that. They want 85%. You know what I'm saying? Shit. 20 years, you gonna do what, 17 and a half or shit? They want that. They want that, you know. But for all my brothers, good brothers, you know what I'm saying? The ones out here doing what they do, you know what I'm saying? Making moves, you know, doing the things that we all talked about when we was in there behind the walls. You know what I'm saying? I salute y'all and congrats. Keep making them good moves. You know what I'm saying? I'll get back with y'all again. Peace.